all my reel handles are in the same place, so that's got to mean I've got a catch. Ooh, although the bobbins aren't quite level, so I'll have to see if that cancels it out.
Wind the handle, point it to the sky.
That's what that cradle is. Well, it's 12 o'clock and I'm back again. I'm trying to set this weight challenge for Raven and Steve. You all saw how the last trip went down here, so I've come back, try again. I'm on a different lake this time. Gates open at 8 o'clock at this place. I got here at 9:30 unfortunately. A bit of a heavy head this morning. Had a good hour and a half walk around the other 2 ponds that I'm not fishing. They're all rammed this morning. A few folks have packed up and gone home now. But yeah, it's quite busy. It's took me about 2 hours really, I suppose, to get everything set up to as you can see it now. I got down, chucked the left and the right hand rods out, put them in the margins. Got some nice little overhanging trees really close to me. I'll give you a look in a little while. Get the underwater camera out again. You know, it's beautiful, beautifully clear here. Water clarity is excellent. So as I came into the swim this morning, there was 2 nice sized carp just milling around where I dropped my right hand rod. One of them spooked straight away, it saw me straight away, but the other one didn't see me and I just froze. And I watched it glide all the way along this margin's edge and go underneath the snags on the left hand rod up by here. So that's where I've got my left and my right hand rod. Both on the same mix. It's like coconutty, manilla-y sort of mix, sweet corn and manila pellets. And the one out in the middle that I've spun to about 7 rod lengths, that's on quite a fishy mixture. Loads of halibut pellets, different sizes, loads of krill, different sizes, pint of dead reds, and a little tiny bit of sweet corn. That's the coffee boiling now. So that's you up to date. That's everything in the water. Cameras have been running since they got there. Nothing as of yet, otherwise you'd have seen it. So I'm going to grab a coffee, perhaps have a dad snooze now until something kicks off. Catch you in a bit, folks. Ta-ra. Right folks, well it's about 1 o'clock. I did have a little dad nap, but it was about 20 minutes. Kind of dozed off for listening to Zombie Apocalypse Survival Story audiobook thing on downloaded off the old YouTube. It's called White Flag of the Dead, if you're into that sort of thing. I'm on about chapter 3, sound bad at the moment. So I've recently just baited up, or rebaited shall we say, the left and the right hand rods. They've both been in the water for about 3.5 hours now. So I thought I'd put a little bit more baiting around them just to bring a bit of fresh smell back to the water. My middle rod's only been in the water for 1.5 hours at the tops. So probably give that another hour before I put a little bit more bait out over the top of that. Fish are sort of showing about 2 rod lengths off my left hand margin rod down here. Hopefully that little bit of rebaiting might bring them a little bit closer with the smell, but we'll see. But I have just noticed that all my reel handles are in the same place, so that's got to mean I've got a catch. Ooh, although the bobbins aren't quite level, so I have to see if that cancels it out. The wind blowing down the lake into that bottom corner. Nearly set up down there, but I mean it's tight on this bank, but it's smaller down there. I didn't think I got enough room for all the clobber. But I can cast to it if I need to, although it looks like there's two fellas that are scoping it out with potential of moving in, so we'll see. But I've not seen anything jump out of the water down there yet. I'm hoping that those two carp that were patrolling earlier come back, to be honest. Well, it's just goes to show that the weatherman don't know nothing. According to the weatherman, it's supposed to have been raining until about an hour ago. It's lovely now though. It was lovely this morning when I got up. I didn't feel lovely, but it was lovely. Could have done with getting here at 8 o'clock really. I'm not great first thing in the morning. Body just don't seem to work right. Still, only an hour and a half into some proper fishing, so cameras are rolling. See you all later. Right folks, it's 2 o'clock, not a lot's happened, other than me having to endure for the last 45 minutes to almost an hour. Decent sized carp swimming up the margin in pairs, right over the top of both the margin rods. That heart in mouth stuff, any second they could dive, and decent sized fish, upper doubles. And I'm only in like what, maybe 6 foot of water. The banks go down really sharp here. So I've had them cruising up here, out over the top of the middle rod. I've had fish topping. The muggins here, I haven't brought a single floating dog biscuit or anything. For some reason I got it in my head that you couldn't float a fish here. So I haven't brought anything, nothing. Trying to keep the weight down because I knew I'd got to carry my stuff all the way around to the other side of the car park if I ended up fishing one of the swims that sort of pre-picked out for myself if it was available. In truth, I wanted to be a little bit further down the bank there. There's a chap sat down there. Hopefully he's not caught anything yet. It'll make me feel better if he's not caught anything, because if he's down there and he's catching everything, I'll feel a bit gutted, because you know, not getting up early in time this morning would have cost me that swim. But you know, that's fishing, isn't it? So past 45 minutes I've been watching fish top over all 3 of my spots. Oh, there's 2 more swimming straight towards me as well. 3. No, 5. Nice. I've got nothing that I can put there. So I've had a thought. What I have done is I've adapted my depth charge, so it's not in a mesh bag anymore. I've got one made up in a solid bag. Look at that. And what I've done is I've put quite a lot of the Sonu Baits black crystals in there. Now this water is really, really clear. One of the old matchman tricks when you clear water fishing, like winter canals or that sort of thing, to use a bit of black ground bait. It sort of emulates the fish feeding, stirring the bottom up like a black plume in the water. So I've put a fair bit of that in, hoping that that does something similar here. And before I cast it out, I am going to fill it pretty much as full as I can get with hemp oil. And the idea behind this is hemp oil obviously floats on top of the water, so all those passing fish that are cruising around and messing around over the top of it should bump straight into that scent trail. With a bit of luck it might get one of them to dive down and have a munch. So that's the plan. Going to give the rods a little bit more time, another hour or so, just got a cup of coffee. I'm going to drink that. Then about 3 o'clock, we'll reposition that centre rod. So, unless one of these cruising fish dives and I get a run, I'll catch back up with you at 3 o'clock. See you in a bit, folks. So it's 3 o'clock. The middle rods had 2 of the 3 R's, a rebait and a recast. And Operation Oil Slick / Smoke Screen is in full effect.
There's loads of fish moving out there.
Let's hope that one of them falls for the trap. The weather's turning. Seems like the weatherman got it on his head. He said rainy this morning, sunshiny in the afternoon, which for a day session is not bad. Get a little bit wet in the morning setting up. By home time, everything's dry, so no problem. Looks like it's going to be the other way around. So I'm going to finish chatting to you folks. I'm going to have a quick tidy up of everything that I've got outside that I don't really want to get wet, and I may have to reposition some of the cameras. So this will be interesting. If the heavens do open, instead of using the camera that I'm talking to you guys on now, I'll have to resort to the GoPro because it's the only thing that can get focus at close range. Anyway, my trials and tribulations when I get back to the editing room. Don't need to worry about that now. Let's concentrate on some fishing. So it's been what, an hour and 20 minutes since I last baited the 2 margin spots, and I'm not going to put any more in. Nothing's been got its head down munching there, otherwise I'd have had some line bites or something. I've just been cruising over the surface, so that's stopping as it is. Another hour I might, that was a nice fish, another hour I might spom out some more over the middle rod, because I don't know what's been going out there under the surface of the water. There's fish cruising over the top, but they could be flipping shoulder them snotty bream down the bottom, cleaning all bait up. That's the last thing that we want. So you can see it if it happens in the margins, because they're really clear. I should probably take a quick trip round the underwater camera, let you guys have a look at this lake before the heavens open and the light deteriorates anymore. But yeah, that's what I'm going to do now then, because it's going to change quick. So catch up with you in another hour or so, folks. See you in a bit. Right, let's check the water quality out here. I think you'll see it's just as good. The light's not as good as yesterday, so let's have a look. So it's 4 o'clock. Operation Oil Slick and Smoke Screen's been in action for about an hour. Nothing. Not as of yet. Fish activity in front of me is not decreased. If anything, it's got more frequent. There's just carp swimming around in 2s, 3s, 4s, cruising just underneath the surface of the water. You can see these big bow waves being formed. They're swimming in formation as well, like fighter pilots. Just coming round, circling in front of me, back out again. I think if I was to do a night here, this might be quite a productive swim. That's another one. You'd have to be really quiet though. I don't think this is the sort of place that I could sit raving, because she couldn't be quiet. I've had to be really conscious of moving around the bank. That's nice, that's nice. It's about 2 rod lengths out from where the right hand rod is. So yeah, I've been moving out to the side and pushing around the edge there. Got quite a nice steep bank behind us. So it means I can move around without silhouetting myself against it. You've got to be light of foot. That rain that I thought was going to come hasn't come yet, but it is getting a lot greyer. Tom-tom drums are going. News on the grapevine. So maybe the cloud cover will give us a little bit of an increased chance of getting a bite. So the water's so clear, there's every possibility that they can see everything underneath the water. You've seen yourself what it looks like down there. It's very rocky. The ducks are kicking off now. Yeah, very rocky, so a good chance. Flipping things. Another fish swimming into the left-hand margin spot. My nose just turned. Just coming across in front of me now. Oh no, he's coming right close in. Oh, he's just turned in front of me and boiled the water up. Okay. So yeah, there's every possibility that leader or rig or what have you sitting cocked up over one of them stones that you've seen on the bottom. Just don't know, do you? Coming here today was a bit of a last minute, to be honest with you, because I thought to myself, next time I come down here I'll bring the water wolf so you can pop that out, see how many times I'm getting done or passed over. Yeah, I'm just going to go to the farm parks venue. Just thought the wife was going out today with the kids for a long time. Don't see any venue I can take the dog. So I was going to go off there and see what I could do. But she said she's only going out for an hour or so. Dog's fine at home for that long. I'll come back down here. Totally forgot to pick the water wolf up. But it won't matter if I did anyway, it'll need charging. Okay. Mental note for next time, eh? It's got a battery life of about 4 hours. I suppose once to figure out what bite time is here, if there is a daytime bite time, pop it out during that time and see what occurs. Because otherwise you're just chucking it out and getting 4 hours underwater footage, whatever swims by them, aren't you? Yeah, I suppose you can learn stuff by that, I suppose. Some more carp coming in. That one's got its back out the water. So 4 o'clock-ish. Got 3 hours left before I need to go. Anything could change in the next 30 seconds. There's still all to play for. I feel like I've said that so many times before, because it's true. You just feel like every 30 seconds could be that 30 seconds that gets you the next run. To wait and see though. Didn't get up to turn the camera off right at the moment. There's loads of fish just moving around in front of me. Right. Get back to you in an hour, folks. Or sooner if something happens. Right folks, it's 5 o'clock. Still no joy on any one of the 3 rods, but I'm still going to remain hopeful. It's this incessant visiting by these carp. It's just been continuing for a good 2 hours now. At some point someone's got to get a package. Even though today's not really generated a fish as of yet. Oh, that's a nice swirl. I'm happy with the choices that I've made, as I have put myself right on a main fish route. Sitting here today watching these fish come in, watching the way they come in from sort of centre line, so then they swing a right towards me, come on down here, and then they'll either split up again, and one will go right and one will go left, or 2 will go right and 1 will go left. Well, very rarely I'll see the 3 come in and turn and stick together like fighter pilots. I've seen a few come in, turn in front of me, and then literally straight across the other side, just beneath the surface of the water, so you can see the bow wave and track them going over there. And it's really easy to see when there's 3 of them all together moving in formation. You go straight over to where there's a gap in the trees, and then they'll turn again, either left or right. So if I was here for a 24-hour session, I'd be feeling pretty confident about getting something a little bit later tonight, once all the noise has dropped down. I'm feeling a little bit exposed on this bank with the bivvy up. I think I'm an easy target to see, but unfortunately at the moment I've got no other alternative, because bring Raven with me, she's going to need somewhere to stay warm and dry should the weather turn, and we've got all the cameras as well, so again, should the weather turn, I need somewhere to be able to get them in and still sort of film. So the bivvy's kind of essential at the moment. This bank's quite narrow, so I like to sort of set up on an angle to be able to see the rods. It takes up most of the path. There was room for people to get round, but you know, if you've got a barra, that would be a bit of a squeeze. I'd probably have to shift the bivvy a little bit further round if I was stopping overnight. The wind sort of dropped off. I don't know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing at the moment. Don't know the lake well enough. So the 3 more carp just cruising around the surface over there. It's torture, this is. Not having any floating stuff. Anyway, what I'm going to do is a proper slow, quiet, tidy up, pack away, get down to bare minimums, see what happens in the final minutes of being here. So I've got about 90 minutes left. So there'll be time for one more report at 6 o'clock. This will probably all be down by then, if I've been able to do it quietly, and we'll take it from there. It's got to be, I suppose realistically thinking about it, I've probably only got an hour's worth of fishing. 6 o'clock comes, got to get the rods out, pack them away, and then I've got to barrow everything back round the other side of the lake and load it up into the car and still get out past the gate by 7 o'clock. So yeah, it's not an hour and a half, is it? It's just an hour really thinking about it. Oh, 60 minutes. Still all to play for. Could all happen in the next 30 seconds. We'll see. Get back to you just before 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock is going to have to be rods out time. So, catch you in a bit, folks. So it's about 20 to 6, folks. Still nothing off the rods, no liners, no nothing. I have still got a continuous circle of carp coming round and moving up and down this margin in front of me, which, whilst being really annoying, every time they come past teaches you a little bit of something. So the next time I'm down, be a little bit wiser. Pretty much got everything packed away now. Got all the cameras out still, so that's the next thing to do. Last 20 minutes, pack the cameras up, and we'll just be left with the GoPro. It's alright then, take some decent video. It's a bad day when you'd accept a bream. If the rod's shot off now with a bream and I caught a bream, I'd be happy. It'd save a blank. That's pretty bad. And that's about it, isn't it? So I'll leave the GoPro running, pack everything else up. 6 o'clock, rods out, flipping hike back round the side of the lake. So, unless I hook something in the final minutes, I'll see you all later. Still got a bit of bait left. Does really need using up. Might go somewhere tomorrow. See you soon, folks. Bye.